And President Trump, of course, wasting no time firing back at Senator Harris, again calling her nasty and saying he was surprised that Joe Biden ultimately picked her. But so far, the Trump campaign has struggled to figure out what line of attack might stick. Terry Moran is in Washington with more on the White House response. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. We all know President Trump's political style is not so much to debate opponents as it is to troll them, deploying playground insults and childish nicknames to paint a vivid picture in the public mind. But in Kamala Harris, he's got a complex and accomplished opponent that he can't really seem to pin down yet. But he's trying.
In a scattershot approach to tearing down Kamala Harris, President Trump unleashed an array of insults, highlighting her failed run for the top spot on the Democratic ticket.
I watched her poll numbers go boom, 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 down to almost nothing. And she left angry, she left mad.
He also went back to his old playbook, resorting to a familiar sexist jeer for his new competitor, calling the senator nasty, trying to portray her as too far left for the country.
She is a disaster. She's going to be a disaster, I think, for their party. She started off strong. She is super liberal. I heard, actually, she's the most liberal person in all of Congress.
But so far, Republicans have struggled to land a punch, firing off an inconsistent barrage of attacks, branding Harris as too soft on crime one moment.
I don't want someone who says that they are not going to be tough on hardened criminals.
And as an overzealous prosecutor the next.
She fought to keep inmates locked up in overcrowded prisons.
While the president is now putting on a show of bravado, claiming Harris is the kind of opponent everyone dreams of and that he's eagerly awaiting the vice presidential debate.
I think he'll do even better against her than he did against Senator Kaine, which was a total wipeout.
Just weeks ago, he had this to say.
How do you rate Kamala Harris as a VP? There's a rumor it's going to be her.
I think it'd be a fine choice, Kamala Harris. It'd be a fine choice.
Trump has also struggled to come up with a vision for his second term. Instead, he's continued attempts to play up racist fears that a Biden presidency would sink the suburbs by expanding low-income housing.
They're going to be opening up areas of your neighborhood, and they're going to, in my opinion, destroy suburbia.
President Trump won the suburbs in 2016. He beat Hillary Clinton there by 4 points. This time around, he's in trouble. A recent ABC News Washington Post poll shows him down by 9 points there, which helps explain these over-the-top attacks about suburbia. Whit?
Terry Moran for us in Washington. Thanks so much. For more now, let's bring in ABC News political contributor Yvette Simpson, CEO of Democracy for America, and ABC News political analyst Matthew Dowd. Good morning to you both. Thanks for joining us. Yvette, I want to start with you. Senator Harris, we know she's breaking barriers. She's making history as a vice presidential running mate. But in her own race for president, her campaign struggled to gain momentum and connect, and she ultimately dropped out of the race before Iowa. How much does that worry you for the Democrats, and do you believe that she's the right complement to Joe Biden, who can unite the party?
Good morning, Whit. You know, she had some big moments. You remember that moment when they talked about, she was saying, you know, America doesn't want a food fight. They want food on their tables. But she also struggled with her criminal justice history and really got, I think, you know, rocked when Tulsi Gabbard mentioned that in the middle of a debate. I think one of the positive things that she's going to bring is she had this real great legion, a diverse group of folks who we call the K-Hive, who were really behind her, and they are excited about this. They fired up social media. I think they were part of the reason why they had such a big fundraising, grassroots fundraising day yesterday after the announcement. One of the things I love is that she brought warmth to the ticket. She was both warm and strong yesterday. So I actually think it's a net positive for Joe Biden, who really still struggles with energy. I think she is way more clear about the vision for the future. So I think it's a really good balance. And I don't know that her performance in a very crowded field, as you remember, was very crowded, is going to reflect negatively in this new role as vice presidential candidate.
Well, some of her strongest moments were actually taking on Joe Biden. But Matt, I want to go to you in the Republican response here, because President Trump called Senator Harris nasty. As we heard before, his campaign launched a flurry of attacks, labeling her radical. Other surrogates kind of all over the map. We heard some describe her as both too tough and too weak on crime. As they're trying to see what sticks here, is that an effective strategy? Will it work?
Well, it is a strategy, but I don't think it's effective in this moment. I think I'm actually surprised. They knew, the Republicans knew, that Kamala Harris was likely to be the vice presidential nominee, and they seemed unprepared to have a singular attack on her, which in every other past campaign, people are ready for that. But I think the bigger mistake they're making is, I think they should have actually done something different and been polite and respectful on the first 24 hours in this, welcome this pick, say welcome to the race, this is an historic pick, but then concentrate their fire on Joe Biden. This race is fundamentally between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and that's where they should be concentrating their fire.
The top of the ticket is ultimately what matters most. Matt, Yvette, thank you so much. Good morning to you both once again.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.